organization. I love history, and lucky enough to meet Dan Vandenberg, who's written many books, I think about 8 now, and they're all somehow connected with the history of Granbury. But he loves to research, and I just knew about that much about this particular house and how we were so lucky to get this. He did a lot more research, and he found out some really interesting things. So he's going to share what he has dug up from all those history books. Very interesting history. Dan Vandenberg.
Thank you. First, I to come and chat with you guys about the history of the Shanley House. As far as my background, I write Texas historical fiction, more about Texas, more actually than Granbury, but I do write a blog for Visit Granbury from time to time, talking about some Granbury history. And I think I was just thinking today, I said, yeah, this is my next blog piece. I've done my job for Visit Granbury now. But I'd like to share several books about Texas historical fiction. I really enjoy the history of Texas from the Revolution and Republic period, 1836, all the way up to the Civil War. So I've got several books out there if anybody's interested in those. A little bit later, I'll be happy to talk to you about that. So let's talk about the Shanley House now. Gee whiz, what a cool place, right? Well, if these walls could talk, what would they say? Gosh, like so many other wonderful buildings in our little town, this house has such an interesting story. It's been used for so many purposes and had so many interesting people walk through those walls and walk through the doors over the years. Maybe somebody walking through the walls too.
I think you're allowed a couple times. I think maybe
we can have more stories about that, so we'll get into that a little bit later maybe. But so many interesting people walking through the doors over the years. And I'd love to know what these walls would say about those people and the things going on in this house. Hood County, with this county seat to be named Granbury, was created out of parts of Parker and Erath County by state law in 1866, immediately after the Civil War ended. It was the last official act of Texas Governor Throckmorton. He and his administration did this before the federal Reconstruction government officials came to Austin and essentially kicked him out of office to put the Reconstruction administrators in and took over the Texas government. Those names he selected were to honor 2 very significant Confederate generals with ties to Granbury, Lieutenant General John B. Hood and Brigadier General Hiram D. Granbury. So the county was named after General Hood, the county seat named after General Granbury. So it's kind of poking a stick at the carpetbaggers coming in there as one of his last functions in office. After the war, many Texas towns were experiencing dramatic growth as people, primarily from southern states, but some from the north, moved west. Many families lost everything in the war and were looking for a new beginning. Granbury, a fledgling town nestled on a bluff overlooking the Brazos River, along with the surrounding area of prime land and prime farm and ranch land, was very attractive to many of those people. It represented new opportunities. New farmers and ranchers in an area required new businessmen to support their needs. Through the late 1870s and 1880s and into the 1900s, business and residential lots in town were being sold. The square was filling up. Buildings were being erected in the architectural styles of the day for several blocks around the square. Older log and wooden commercial buildings around the square were being replaced with the much more durable limestone blocks from local quarries. Built in 1886 by J.N. Hanley of local limestone, this building was intended from the beginning as a utilitarian work structure. Originally known as the Granite Mill, its services were in high demand. It was used as a grist mill for grinding corn. It was also used as cotton gin to accommodate the county's growing cotton industry in the 1880s and 1890s. Mr. Hanley also built the old Hood County Jail in 1885. In 1900, the building was sold to Michael H. Shanley, whose family owned it for 76 years. Soon after he bought it, Mike Shanley converted its ground floor to an opera house. Mr. Shanley, Mrs. Shanley, a talented musician, often performed in musical shows. Later, it was converted to a kitchen cabinet factory where Mr. Shanley's crews made patented cabinets that were mounted on casters. In 1912, Mr. Shanley's interest changed, and he refigured the structure to what became known as Shanley's Rock Hotel. So it was a hotel then. The Shanleys were a very prominent family in Granbury until they moved away to St. Louis, and I didn't get a year on that. Maybe somebody knows when that happened. They moved away out of the area. The years following, the Shanley house was converted to a residence and was rented to many local families. Madeline Shanley Green, daughter of Michael Shanley, made her home here for many years after the death of her husband. She added a farm-type sleeping porch on the east side of the building in the 1940s. East side, I guess, would be that side over there. In 1974, Hood County Judge Milton Mayer appointed a 15-member commission to plan the county's participation in America's bicentennial celebration. Now, everybody knows that Granbury and Hood County know how to throw a party, right? So it was a smashing success. In 1970, after the celebration, the Shanley family sold the 4.7 acres of land that included the old rock building to the Hood County Bicentennial Commission. After hundreds of hours of volunteer work and contribution repairing and preserving the old building, it became the official location of the Senior Center and Meals on Wheels. By 1994, a note to purchase the property was paid in full, and the Bicentennial Commission evolved its name to the Shanley Park Association. Its purpose was to preserve the surrounding grounds as a green space for future generations. Over the years, that green space has become the beautiful Shanley Park with a spring-fed creek, well-maintained lawn, and gardens, and hike and bike trails and bridges. The Shanley House, sitting in its picturesque location overlooking the beautiful park in downtown Granbury, is now the home of Lake Granbury Art Association. This is an enthusiastic group, right? Of artists who present their workshops, demonstration classes, and art shows. Like so many beautiful old buildings in Granbury and Hood County, this one has seen and heard so many interesting things over the last 136 years. Its walls have seen the local elite and common men come and go. It's seen business deals of all kinds made with only the shake of a hand. It's heard machines milling grain and ginning cotton. It's seen the calloused and scarred hands of tradesmen using their tools to make beautiful cabinets. It's heard laughter, music, and lines recited from shows. It's heard babies babble and children laugh and sing in their play. It's heard earnest prayers given over family meals. It's seen sons that grew up here go off to war, and it's seen daughters leave their parents' home to start their lives as new brides. And now, these stately old walls that have stood so strong for so long finally get to be embraced with beauty produced by these talented artists. Happy 50th anniversary to Lake Granbury Art Association.